Okay, so I think you guys can probably assume what happened last time. There was a sex scene, I had to skip it, and that was pretty much the rest of the chapter, or the rest of the day, so yeah, it tends to end awkwardly when I have to do that. Time to get up, Shugo-san. Oh, great. It's morning! Wasn't she the one that likes to sleep in and is just lazy? Like, we're usually the ones that get up early in the damn morning, and she's the one that's just, like, lays around all day. But hey, I mean, I'm not a morning person myself, so I can't necessarily say that I blame her. My futon suddenly yanked off. Hey, rise and shine. Are you awake, Shugo-san? No. I look over to find Kazuna already changed, ready to head out. What the heck? You're up pretty damn early. Well, of course, women have lots of things to take care of in the morning, like makeup and stuff. And that's pretty important. It's pretty important that you take care of that. Whoa, you put on makeup, Kazuna? What, you got a problem with that? Well, you're pretty damn cute without it. I don't think you need it at all, to be honest. What? Seriously? Nah, I was just flattering you. Don't say that, jackass. Thunk. Ow! She delivers a hearty kick to the side of my gut. Stop this nonsense and get out of bed already. Yes, ma'am. The proprietress just told me that breakfast is ready and that we should head down to the dining hall. Ugh. Come on. I just got up, for crying out loud. I scratched my head. It's nothing to be proud of, but I'm pretty well known for being cranky in the morning. I've had it up to here with you. In exasperation, Kazuna drags me out of the futon. Come on, take off your yukata by yourself. No way, it's too damn cold in here. Thunk. Ow! Her fist sinks into my gut. Okay, I'll help you out then. Turn your arms toward your back and stretch them out. Ugh. I do as she says, and my yukata is promptly stripped off. Now it's time for your kimono. Okay, reach your arms around back again. Ugh, Kazuna, did your personality just change? She's being a lot more forceful than she's ever been. Well, that's because... She blushes. I'm not a little girl anymore. Oh my god. She has sex once, she's like, I'm a completely different person now. I gotta look after you without getting annoyed. Your habits are so slovenly after all. She looks up at me. It's kind of galling for some reason, so I decide to give her a thump on the head in return. Thunk. Ah! What the heck are you doing, Shugo-san? Oh, my bad. I'm not sure why I did that. Not sure why? Isn't it cruel to bonk someone on the noggin without a reason like that? It's strange, isn't it? There's something wrong with it. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. There's something strange about that, too. If you're going to apologize so casually, then why on earth did you hit me on the head in the first place? Well, you probably deserved it. Just because. What kind of reason is just because? Your head looked really hittable? I don't know. Like I was saying. The proprietress comes looking for us after 20 minutes because she finds it strange that nobody's come down for breakfast. Nonplussed, we continue our futile argument. Right, now they're already acting like an old married couple. We call Kousuke Keitaro via telephone from our inn to arrange a meeting time. He seems rather unwilling, but after I tell him I want to report on the status of Yura's search, Keitaro reluctantly agrees. The country lane over to the Kousuke mansion is blocked with snow. I look over at Kazuna, who's walking along beside me. Her cheeks are flushed pink due to the cold, and each breath she takes sends up a puff of white steam. Look, I'm sorry about this. I feel bad for dragging you all the way out here without giving you a proper explanation. What we're going to discuss today isn't going to be very pleasant for you. That's because it's going to be about what happened 10 years ago. It might be tough on Kazuna when she's finally confronted with the cold hard facts, since she's not an outsider to the family like me. Shugo-san. However, Kazuna doesn't seem to have any qualms. No matter how painful this may be, I'm ready. I want to know the truth. The truth? Yeah, I want to know what happened to my sister 10 years ago, and why our father has been keeping it a secret. She looks at me straight in the eyes as she speaks. That's why you needn't worry about me, Shugo-san. This is what I want. Okay, I've got it. I'm somewhat dazzled by how strong and determined Kazuna seems. Ellipsis. We're shown inside the moment we arrive at the mansion. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Kousuke Ryoko, Kazuna's mother, greets us gloomily. Sorry for not stopping by much lately. I don't really care. Ryoko's response to Kazuna's timid apology is a blank nod. Right this way, Takashiro-sama. Okay. Ryoko guides us down the silent hallway. We're shown into the living room, which is decked out with expensive-looking furniture. I shall go fetch my husband. Ryoko bows and leaves the room, her face an expressionless mask. Just like when I visited here 10 days ago, the Kousuke mansion is deathly silent, as though nobody lives here. Even though the building itself is so massive, they don't have a single servant on hand. Shuko-san, please don't think too badly of her. Kazuna suddenly turns to me, her voice fraught with concern. You mean your mother? I don't really mind. I was already expecting not to be welcome here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Kazuna's looking down at the ground, her shoulders slumped over in misery. Do you just not get along well with her? That's what worries me. A troubled expression spreads over Kazuna's face. I actually haven't met Ryoko-san very many times before. Apparently, she doesn't really like me or my sister, so... Well, that's plain enough to see. From the way Kazuna's been acting, I can grasp that Ryoko is pretty distanced from the children of her ex-husband's wife. A moment of unease passes through my brain. And Yura had been living all by herself in this house. Yeah, Kazuna's expression clouds over. If only I had paid more attention to my sister's plight. We probably both feel the same way about Yura. Feelings of regret and guilt. It's not too late. We'll find Yura, and if she's in trouble, we'll save her and bring her happiness. That's what we came here to do, right? Kazuna's eyes brighten up. Yes, you've taken the words right out of my mouth. What's important is what happens from here on out. Right, but the moment I open my mouth to reply... Excuse me. Sorry to keep you waiting. I quickly shut up and bow toward Keiichiro. Now what the fuck do you want in my house? State your business and leave, peasant. Well then, you said you had something to report about the investigation. He regards me with a look of skepticism. Keiichiro slides his eyes over to Kazuna suspiciously as well. Yes. Well, it's no surprise. To him, this whole investigation I was hired for was nothing but a farce. There's no doubt in my mind that he never expected to be sitting here across from me receiving a report about it. However, several truths have come to light in the 10 days or so that I've been on the case. I proceed, paying no heed to his glares. I tell him about how a woman resembling Kousuke Yura was sighted in the slums of Ueno, about how she had gotten entangled with one of the bosses of the Hand of Death, and how others have witnessed that she's somehow connected with Senri, a religious cult. His expression grows more and more grim as I delve onwards. That's enough! He suddenly cuts me off. Is there a problem with my report? Takashiro-kun. Keiichiro glares daggers at me. What in the blazes did I hire you for? Why, to find your daughter Kousuke Yura, right? Yes, that's true. That's true, but... He sounds annoyed as he glances over at Kazuna. And if we assume that woman is indeed Yura-san, then it shows us a clear picture of her actions over the last 2 years. But that leaves us with a problem. The route that led her to do those things. A cult, the Hand of Death. How on earth did Yura-san become connected to the seamy underbelly of society? The clues to that lie in the accident that happened 10 years ago, and what happened between then and when she disappeared 5 years ago. This is absolute hogwash. You sure take an interest in the most trivial of matters, don't you? In the first place, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's Kousuke family business. I'm not going to tell an outsider like yourself. And right at that moment... Well, father, will you tell me then? Kazuna jumps to her feet and shouts at him. What did you say? Do I have to slap a bitch? I'm a member of the Kousuke family. I want to know what really happened to my sister. Keiichiro glares at me. Takashiro-kun, did you perhaps tell? He finally realizes why Kazuna is here. Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. I shrug, flashing him a wry smile. I'd wanted to talk things over in a calmer fashion, but I guess that's out of the question now. I guess one thing led to another, and, well, I basically spilled the beans to Kazuna. You son of a bitch! How dare you! Father! Kazuna jumps in between us. Why? Why have you been hiding this from us? Shut up! Get out of here! Keiichiro's eyes turn bloodshot in his rage. No, I will not shut up. I'm not going to give up until you tell me the truth. You little... It happens so fast I don't even have time to stop him. Ooh, He did slap a bitch. Eek! Slap. Kazuna totters and falls backward. Kousuke-san, you... If he's going to go so far as to strike his own child, surely it must be some kind of terrible secret. I've had enough of this. I was a fool to place my trust in a man like you. My request for your job is hereby withdrawn. Now get out of my house. Keitaro points toward the exit, his face haggard. I ignore him and continue talking. There's one thing that's been bothering me about those rumors going around 10 years ago. They used the word possessed, right? It appears that Yura-san was shut away inside a room not because of an accident, but because of a mental illness. No, imprisoned might be a better word. Have you heard any rumors to that effect? Ugh! What a bunch of rubbish. There's no credibility to any of those rumors. But you're so concerned with how society views your family, are you not? He falls silent, his face grim. Father. It's then that I hear someone laughing. Kousuke Ryoko, left out of our conversation, is standing there laughing. She looks over with great amusement at us arguing. Oh dear, you're all so serious. She giggles like a giddy little girl, something rather uncharacteristic when you consider her previous behavior. I can see a glint of something approaching madness in her eyes. Ryoko, what are you doing? Dear, just give up. Why don't you just tell them so they can get out of here? If they've found out that much already, they're bound to figure out the rest at some point. Ryoko-san? Kazuna addresses Ryoko timidly. Do you know anything about my sister? Oh no, only bits and pieces. My husband acted on his own selfish desires and sold off Yura-san. Sold off? While I'm struggling to comprehend what she just said, Keitaro raises his arm to strike once again. Now I'm gonna have to strike another woman. Shut up, woman! Damn, he did. Holy shit. Ryoko-san. Kazuna helps Ryoko up after she's crumpled to the carpet. You ungrateful bitch. You always say too much. He's completely lost his cool. Keitaro stalks toward Kazuna and Ryoko with his fists clenched. Please calm down, Kozuki-san. I hurriedly throw myself between him and the ladies. I have to do something here. He's gone completely berserk with rage. Get out of my way! I can do what I want with my women. You really need to get with the times, dear. Women don't even have the right to speak. Give it a rest. God damn. Her personality is completely different now. What did you say, you? Stop it, you two. After I shout out in anger, the room falls silent for a split second. Come on, Kozuki-san. All we want are some clues that will help us locate Yura-san. I won't breathe a word about this. I also won't do anything that will trouble the Kozuki family. So please, could you just tell us? I think it'll save you some trouble in the future if you just tell us now instead of making us guess. How about it? Ugh. He stares me down hatefully. You swear you won't tell a soul? I promise. I nod my agreement immediately. Keitaro seems hesitant, but finally succumbs, a deeply troubled look on his face. Alright, I'll tell you. There was always something odd about that girl. Keitaro begins his story hesitantly. Back then, the Kousuke family was impoverished. They were one of the old powerful families in Zushi, but only in name. Without any source of income, they started selling the land passed down from their ancestors. Keitaro disapproved. He became the successor of the Kousuke family after the eldest son died, and used that opportunity to collect and spend the remnants of the Kousuke savings to start up a business. As the war continued to escalate, he set his goal on distributing goods and medicines to troops deployed abroad. Of course, that wasn't a business that a young man without financial backing could easily achieve. However, things were looking good for Keitaro. The Kousuke family predecessors had a lot of contacts in the financial world who should have been amicable toward young Keitaro. However, he breathes a deep sigh. Ugh. Not a single one of them would help me out. Well, it makes sense when I look back on it now. Keitaro crinkles his face in agony after thinking about the humiliations of his past. I'd used up all the money I'd collected, and we were on the verge of bankruptcy. There was nothing left for me to do, and I'd pretty much given up. Wow, I had no idea things were so bad. Kazuna interjects casually. You didn't know that? It's your own family we're talking about here. Yeah, embarrassing as it may be. Keitaro flashes a wry grin after he takes a look at Kazuna. Well, that's because she'd already run away from home at the time. He may speak badly about her, but I think deep down inside he actually cares for her. Keitaro's rejection of his daughter's acting career probably stemmed from the fact that he just wanted to keep her at home. But then why on earth would he shun her twin sister Yura so much? At that point, a certain young man came to visit me. Indifferent to the questions my mind raised, Keitaro plows on with his story. More ellipsis. Would you let us assist you in your business venture? He introduced himself as a researcher working for a laboratory in Tokyo. The man wore a gray suit. He was a polite, unassuming young lad. Keitaro thought him suspicious. He'd visited many medical institutions, but none of them were like the one the young man told him about. He hadn't even heard the name before. I see. Well, our institution is special. Our existence is hidden from regular civilians. He shrugged his shoulders like a foreigner. Would you really be willing to make this deal with me? Keitaro's joy at being able to start his own business won out over his suspicion. Of course, Kousuke-san. The young man lowered his voice. We have one condition, however. We request that you accept it unconditionally. A condition? Here it comes, Keitaro thought. There's no way such a sweet deal would go over so easily. Right, I don't think this will go over too well with you, Kousuke-san. The young man searched for what to say. Please just say it. I'll do anything in my power. Keitaro strengthened his resolve. If he let this one go, there wouldn't be a second chance. The man suddenly changed the topic. By the way, Kousuke-san, you have twin daughters, correct? The man smiled and continued. In particular, we've heard rumors that the older one possesses some kind of mysterious power. Keitaro was taken aback. How did this young man know about Yura? No need to be suspicious. Our institution specializes in that sort of thing. We research, demons and possessions. He shrugged once again. The name Kousuke Yura popped up in the information we gathered. That's pretty much it. Keitaro was at a loss for words. An image of his daughter Yura surfaced in his mind. She was rather creepy after all. Those deep, unfocused eyes of hers. She would repeat incomprehensible gibberish day in and day out. In stark contrast to her healthy, cheerful sister, Yura cultivated a dark, ominous aura about herself. Every time she affixed him with her soulless eyes, Keitaro felt a little part of himself that cared for her die. Jesus Christ. Though nobody ever openly said anything about it, at some point the people in the village had started avoiding Yura, shunning her as some kind of abomination. And above all else. So, what do you want with Yura? The man's reply was short and simple. I'll be frank with you. We'd like to use her as a research subject. Keitaro had been expecting him to say something like that. Keitaro tried to distance himself from the guilt he felt for selling off his daughter. What do you mean, research subject? As though he'd guessed what Keitaro was thinking deep inside, the young man replied jokingly. Oh, it's nothing too serious. We just want to tamper with her brain a bit. Oh yeah, I'm sure that won't have any sort of, lasting effects. Oh my god! Father, you don't mean to say that you really... I had no choice! Who the hell would actually want to sell their daughter off? But I had a business that wasn't going anywhere, and mountains of debt I couldn't pay off. I didn't have any other choice. He falls silent, a look of bitterness etched across his features. Lies, all lies. Dear, you're so selfish. Funny how you act so sad now, but at the time you happily sold Yura-san off when someone threw you a lifeline. Ryoko! Ryoko giggles, then closes her mouth. So, that accident 10 years ago was... Yura was sent back to us after the research facility closed down. By that time, she was already broken beyond any hope of salvation. She'd cry, scream, howl, and vomit over and over again. It took over half a year before she started to settle down. But that doesn't mean you had to imprison her inside her room. You have no right to say that. You who cast aside your family to run off to Tokyo. But... Kazuna's pressured into silence. I see. So after she came back, Yura was penned up indoors for 5 years until she disappeared. When I'd met Yura, she appeared calm on the surface. But that was probably only true of her outward appearance. Deserted by her own family, shunned and feared by her neighbors. I could never begin to fathom the loneliness Yura must have felt at the time. But, why was Yura so attached to me, a man she had just met? I think I'm beginning to see the answer. Well, all things considered. Kousuke-san, is there anything else you can remember about that research facility? If Yura had fallen back on them after she disappeared, then the names of anyone affiliated with the facility might be helpful. I'm not sure. My interactions with them were always one-sided. You can't remember anything. Anything at all, no matter how trivial would help. Let's see. He nods to himself. I remember that man's name. The researcher who delivered the offer to me. And it is... Narahashi Kazuma. I only remembered because it's a pretty strange name. Narahashi. This is indeed an important clue. Oh, wait a minute, Narahashi. That's right. That was the name of the symbol that Nana got. It was the symbol for the Narahashi family, and it was in the church. So that's they definitely have something to do with this. In all honesty, though, I don't expect to be able to track down that secret research facility just through the name. But in order to find out where Yura went after she disappeared, I think we need to locate him at all costs. Huh? Wait just a second. Narahashi. I feel like I've heard that name somewhere, and quite recently to boot. It was last night. My conversation with Nana resurfaces in my mind. The shape of the Narahashi family's crest is well known. In addition, their business has been pharmaceuticals for generations, which means that they're chemists. Holy shit. How the hell is Nana's research connected to Kousuke Yura? Well, that is a pretty big clue, but I guess we're going to have to track down anybody with that name. Takashiro Nana makes her way back to the dorm, crunching through the thin layer of snow blanketing the road. After mostly wrapping up her investigation in Zushi, Nana's in the mood to return to her room for a while. She's gathered some rather surprising information. With the pendant she found in the chapel as a lead, Nana's beginning to see how the events in Zushi 7 years ago are connected to these recent murders in Ueno. And what's more, she happened to come across her brother and Kozuki Kazuna clumsily expressing their affection for each other out in the open. Nana emits a low growl from the back of her throat. The twisted smile on her face is so merciless it could make one's flesh crawl. Yeah, considering what kind of woman she is, I'll be able to steal my brother back any time, she thinks. I'll just do it after this case is closed. Well, let's hope not. Immersed as she is in her own delusions, Nana doesn't notice the disturbance around her for a little while. Huh? What's going on at this hour? It's still quite early. Normally, Kaio Academy would be completely silent at this time. However, at the moment she can hear the sound of frantic shouting coming from the front gate. Well, that's out of the ordinary. There are men screaming out in anger, pointing up at the fence next to the gate. Well, she might as well go ahead and take a look. Nana walks off toward the side of the commotion. She's burning up with curiosity. It feels like it's going to be another murder. However, what awaits her is... Nana gasps upon seeing that bizarre sight. Oh, shit. What in the... Oh. That doesn't look good. Oh, man. Somebody's hanging on the fence. Oh, I see blood. Oh, no. Somebody got... I think somebody got hung onto the fence. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's... I think this is you-know-who. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. Yeah, Takiko. Oh, my God. She got impaled through the eyes. Jesus Christ. Well, whoever is killing people sure is creative. I'll say that. Jesus fuck. Somebody got their eyes impaled through the fucking fence. Oh, fuck. Well, I don't think we could have expected her to live. Let's just say that. She's too airheaded. Takiko-kun? A low groan escapes from her throat. Impaled through her eyes on the metal spikes jutting up from the fence is the corpse of her best friend. Attracted by the smell of blood, a flock of crows gathered on the gatepost stares down at the body. A bewildered whisper escapes from Nana's lips as she stands there in abject horror. What on earth? This wasn't supposed to happen. Well, too fucking bad. It looks like it did happen. Well, holy shit. It's time to watch your friends die yet again. All the people we care about are going to be murdered horribly. Welcome to Karano Shoujo, or in this case, welcome to Cartagra. Though Karano Shoujo and Cartagra are pretty much the same thing. We arrived back in Ueno in the evening. At some point in the afternoon, a new layer of snow started to fall on the dirty slush that had been trampled down by countless pedestrian shoes. We hardly speak on the ride back from Zushi. Kazuna and I both sit there immersed in our own thoughts. Then, Shugo-san? As we part ways in front of Ueno Station, Kazuna addresses me with a pained look on her face. What are we going to do tomorrow about the search for my sister? Oh, right. Well, first off, we'll start by looking for information on that Narahashi guy your father told us about. We'll follow that up by investigating more into the inner workings of Senri. I see. I'm kind of worried about how depressed she looks, so I can't help but confirm one last time with her. Do you want to stop, Kazuna? After what your father told us, are you afraid to meet Yura now? No, not in the slightest. She whips her head around in vehement denial. But I had no idea what kind of terrible things my sister was put through. That whole time, I was living in Tokyo, just doing as I pleased. She trails off into silence. Yeah, who knows if Yura will hate you for that. Kazuna's shoulders start shaking. But there's no use thinking about that at the moment. Our first priority is just finding Yura, right? Come on, remember what you told me? I'm never going to give up? Yeah. She nods and looks up into my eyes. You're on my side, right, Shugo-san? Yeah? And then, Kazuna whispers, will you always love me? I can see the anxiety in her eyes. This is no time to brush things off with a joke. I reply with all my heart. Yeah, always. You love me more than you love my sister? Memories of that summer flash through my brain. Yeah, memories of the time she tried to fucking strangle me while we were having sex. Jesus fuck. Somebody has some weird fetishes. It's a memory that'll never disappear, as it's tinged with pleasure, regret, and guilt. However, I don't feel that way about Yura. Kazuna, Yes? I love... You what? I realize that Kazuna's looking at me excitedly, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Why don't you just say it, you fucking weirdo? Jesus Christ. There's no trace left of how miserable she looked earlier. Man, she sure can't change in a hurry. Oh boy, oh boy. I feel ridiculous giving her a serious answer now. Anyhow, that's that. See you tomorrow, Kazuna. Oh, he was just trolling her. Hold on a second. Why the heck did you stop at such an important place? Huh? You're so mean. Don't leave me hanging. Finish what you were saying, Shugo-san. What is it? You what me? Come on now, no need to be shy, just say it. Like I said. Yes, yes, yes. What is it? Jeez, once she bites, she never lets go. Come on, come on, come on. Whatever, let's leave it at that. See you tomorrow, Kazuna. I quickly bid her farewell, spin around, and run off. Ah! What are you running away for? I keep running, not bothering to turn around. Wait, Shugo-san! You coward! Meanie! The wind whipping against my cheeks is rather pleasant and cool. He just left her there, just like, see ya. I'm gonna go back to the whorehouse. I return to the Yukishiro after parting ways with Kazuna. I don't hear much noise coming from inside today either. It feels like all the life has gone out of this neighborhood. I greet the doorman standing at the entrance and pass under the curtains. The depressing atmosphere returns. Then it hits me. Something seems out of place. Even though there are fewer customers, it's too quiet. It's almost as though there aren't any customers at all inside. After spending a moment puzzling it over. Sir, where on earth have you been? Madam? What's wrong? You look pretty pale. Forget about that for now. Some detectives came to your room, and they've been waiting there for you. Detectives? Arashima-san? Yeah, he's with them as well, but something weird's going on here. She lowers her voice to a whisper. They told me not to let any customers in until you came back. They sound like they're going to arrest you or something. From the way things look, I think it's best if you just left by the rear entrance. Huh? Are you telling me to run away? Yeah, we'll deal with the fallout. I can't possibly... I'm about to laugh it off, but I stop when I see how serious she looks. A vague, inexplicable feeling of unease surfaces inside my heart. I'll go see what they have to say. If Arashima-san's there, he won't let things get out of hand. Sir! I ignore her efforts to hold me back and hurry up to my room. Well, I guess it's better to face them than to run away. If you run away, you'll just end up looking more suspicious. Arashima-san. I slide the door open to find Arashima-san and Yaginuma waiting for me. Sorry for waiting in here, Shugo. Hey there, senpai! Long time no see. The sarcastic smile creasing Yaginuma's face pretty much confirms my suspicions. Did something happen? Yeah, in a manner of speaking. Yaginuma takes over after Arashima-san delivers a vague reply. Ayasaki Takiko, you're acquainted with her, correct? Yeah, I am. Well, what about her? Where were you and what were you doing last night? Huh? Can't answer the question? Yep, can't answer it, right? Well, that really puts us on the spot here. Hold on just a damn second. What the hell happened to Takiko-chan? My question is met with silence. Arashima-san turns to Yaginuma and gives him a small nod. Huh? Arashima-san. Okay, let's hear the full story from you down at the station, huh? What? Takashiro Shugo, we're taking you to the station for questioning as a suspect in the murder of Ayasaki Takako. Well, that could have gone better. Uh-oh. Red means dead. Red is not good. That's not a good color. And after a cursory body check and ID verification, I'm thrown into a holding cell in the Ueno station. Get your ass in there! Yaginuma boots me in the rear and I sprawl onto the filthy floor of the cell. The smell of dust and excrement makes me nauseous. Ugh. You don't clean this fucking place? I know it may be dirty in there, but feel free to relax and take it easy, senpai. You son of a bitch! My vision flashes red for an instant. Yaginuma slapped me across the face. Gah! I can feel blood oozing out when I press my hand to my nose. Know your place, you filthy murderer. You will address me as detective. Detective! Whoa. What an unsociable criminal we have here. How long are you gonna act like that, huh? A twisted smile appears on his face. Tell me, what's the situation with Takako-chan? Huh? He puts on a look of abject confusion. Don't play dumb with me, senpai. How the fuck do you not know, since you were the one who killed her? I mean, do they even have any proof of that? Well then, I hope you're looking forward to the interrogation tomorrow. Yaginuma giggles and disappears. Fuck! I pick myself up and punch the floor repeatedly. What the fuck's going on? Takako-chan was murdered? She was happy and healthy when I last saw her 2 days ago, which means that in the span of 2 days, something happened to her? I'm certain Yaginuma mentioned something about last night. That was when I was in Zushi with Kazuna. If I just explain that to them, my innocence can be easily proven. But why on earth would anybody murder Takako-chan? I asked Arashima-san several times about what happened on our way to the station, but he didn't reply. I guess there was nothing he could do about it, since I'm a suspect now. God fucking damn it. My nose aches. I'm getting more and more pissed off since I have no idea what happened. I take a look around my cell. There's a grimy blanket thrown haphazardly against the wall. I'm supposed to sleep in this? This is horrible. I allow myself a wry chuckle while suppressing the pain. At any rate, it's best if I get a little shut-eye in order to prepare myself for the interrogation tomorrow. I'm quite familiar with how terrifying the police system's investigations can be when they're conducted via predictions and guesswork. No matter how things turn out, I'm gonna need all the strength I can get. Maybe this is just happening because certain people know that Shugo is getting a little bit too close to the truth, so they're trying to keep him quiet, keep him locked up. Could be what's happening. Half a day later. Shugo, you're free to go. Man, I had to spend all night in that dirty fucking cell. What was that all about? It's nearly sunset by the time Arashima shows up in the interrogation room to tell me that. We received confirmation that you were not in Tokyo at the time the murder was committed. Arashima-san, I'm pretty worn out from the grilling Yaginuma has been giving me since early morning. Lucky bastard. He clicks his tongue spitefully. Yaginuma's questioning session was no interrogation. It felt more like psychological torture. We went over my actions from 3 days ago over and over and over again. The slightest inconsistency in my story would cause fingers to be pointed and blame to be piled upon me. It's actually a fairly common technique in the world of interrogations. Looks like you're free, senpai. You can go home. Thanks for your cooperation. Yeah, you really sound like you mean it. He sounds somewhat regretful. Sure. I've never seen any detective do this simple yet depressing job so happily before, aside from Yaginuma. I see. You really are well suited to be a detective. Huh? Did you say something? Nah. You know, this doesn't mean all our suspicions about you have been cleared up. Anybody can come up with a cunning alibi. You'd better watch your steps, senpai. Exhausted, I'm dragged out of the interrogation chamber. Sorry about all this, Shugo. You know how the rules work. I don't even have the energy left in me to respond. It's already dark outside by the time I step out of Ueno Station. And there, waiting for me, I see. Oh! In the midst of the swirling snow stands a single girl. Shugo-san! Kazuna. I was worried to death. I thought you'd never get out of there. Yeah, they really wore me out. I see. I'm so glad you're okay. Were you waiting for me here the entire time? As I embrace her, I notice that her entire body's frozen and trembling. Not the whole time. They were taking a statement from me earlier. You were interrogated? They asked me over and over whether I really was with you 2 nights ago. I see. They let me go scot-free because of Kazuno's testimony. Sorry to put you through all this. Oh, not at all. Don't you worry about me. I'm fine. She waves her hands around, blushing furiously. But that aside, the police are awful. Why did they have to go and arrest you like that, Shugo-san? Well, that's because Yaginuma had told me during the course of the interrogation. 3 days ago, after I went to see the play with Takako-chan, she disappeared on her way home. I was the last person to see her alive. There's no question I'd be treated as a major suspect. To make things worse, I had refused Takako-chan's offer and she had left in tears. You could interpret any part of that as being highly suspicious. But how could they bring you in on just that? Well, if there's anybody that looks remotely suspicious, they'll haul them down to the station and beat a confession out of them. There are still a lot of detectives out there nowadays that think that constitutes an investigation. But something just doesn't make sense here. As far as I know, Arashima-san detests those kind of old-fashioned methods. Shugo-san, was it true that you dated the girl who died? Huh? Who fed you that rubbish? A policeman told me during my questioning. I see. I guess you could call it an infatuation on her part. I suppose that's just a hasty conclusion the cops drew. Which means... I knew Takako-chan from a long time ago. I'd only met her a handful of times recently. It was pure coincidence that I happened to be together with her on that day. The worst possible scenario pops into my head. Takako-chan disappeared right after she parted ways with me, which could mean that... I see. Kazuna's tone carries with it a mixture of complicated emotions. So in a way, we're kind of responsible for what happened to her. If we had chosen to not let her go, then... Well, I don't know. We still would have gotten a bad end. So it's like, you're fucked either way. It just doesn't seem to matter half the time. Or pretty much all the time. I escort Kazuna back to her home in Kanda, and then returned to the Yukishiro. The corridors of the Yukishiro are just as silent today as they were yesterday. Come to think of it, business hasn't been too great lately. It makes me worry whether the folks running the establishment are doing okay themselves. And at that moment... Shugo-sama? You came back to us. Her voice is filled with honest relief. Man, it looks like I even caused Hatsune to worry. I'm sorry for putting everyone through this. What do you mean by that, Shugo-sama? It was my fault that you guys couldn't let any customers in last night, right? Well, that's... Hatsune looks somewhat troubled as she trails off into silence. Thankfully, I've been cleared of all suspicion, so I don't think I'll be causing you guys any more trouble. Okay. Oh, right. Sorry, Hatsune, but could I ask you for a little favor? I'd like to know about Takako-chan's murder. You still haven't thrown out the newspapers from the last 2 days, right? Could you bring them up to my room, please? To be perfectly honest, I'm weary to the point of exhaustion, so I'd like to go to sleep right now if I could. However, the cold truth remains. Takako-chan was murdered. I can't be resting peacefully at a time like this. Oh, sure. Understood. Thanks. Hatsune vanishes down the staircase, her feet pattering softly on the wooden flooring. I hear a knock on the door immediately after I return to my room. That was quick. Oh, is that you, Hatsune? That was really fast. Thanks for... But as soon as I respond... Oh, no, it's her. Pardon me, sir. The one who enters is Madame Ojaku, wearing a gravely serious expression I rarely see on her. Sorry, but Hatsune's still downstairs. Her face is still grim. Hey, madam. I hurriedly correct my posture. Well, I suppose this is a good time for me to apologize to her. I'm really sorry about causing you all this trouble recently. Yeah, it's really unlike her to look this depressed, since she's usually so cheerful. I'm here to discuss that, actually. What is it? How should I say this? After a few moments of silence, she opens her mouth and says, I'd like you to leave the Yukishiro. Huh? Naturally, I'm at a loss for words. Those were the last words I was expecting to hear out of her mouth. The sooner the better, if at all possible. I'd like it if you could get out sometime tomorrow. She says this quickly, with her eyes averted. But that's so sudden. I'm finally able to choke the words out. I know. I've had Toji arrange some new living quarters for you, so you needn't worry about that. Could you at least tell me why? Why now of all times? Let's see. You've noticed, right? It's not just us who have been affected. Recently, this entire neighborhood... Yeah, I noticed, but I hadn't put the pieces together. The murders, the low amount of customers we've been getting, then there was that pack of policemen who came to my establishment. This is just how our industry works. Some of the customers care about this sort of thing. I mean, I'd be fine with it if it were just that, but... There's still something else? Our union sent out a notice. Somebody's put out a petition. They're saying that the establishments in this neighborhood are causing everyone grief. That's... Well, anyone can see that business hasn't been so hot these last few days. I'm not saying everything's your fault, sir. We've had fewer and fewer customers ever since those murders. However, she stops to sigh. Scapegoat may be a bad way to put it, but everybody's just been waiting for a chance to lash out and release their frustration at the first sign of someone doing something wrong. I see where this is going. And since I got hauled away as a murder suspect... It's okay if you hate us for this. I mean, we're just catering to our own selfish interests. Nah, I don't. Not in the slightest. I'm already thankful that you guys took in an outsider like me for a whole year. When you put it that way, She trails off into silence, unable to continue. Alright, I'll get my things together and be out of here by tomorrow morning. I'm really sorry. I'm just a good-for-nothing coward. Madame Ojaku bows her head deeply. Well, this is awkward. As I'm about to show the depressed-looking madam out of my room, I open the screen door to find... Hatsune's standing there. Her panic-stricken eyes tell me the entire story. Hatsune, were you listening in on us? I'm so sorry. I didn't intend to, honestly. I was just going to bring the newspapers, like you asked me to. So you thought it was acceptable to stand there and eavesdrop? But... Hatsune turns to me, her eyes brimming with tears. Shugo-sama, you're going to leave the Yukishiro? Yeah. That's what it's come down to. No, you mustn't. Her voice gets feebler by the second. I don't want you to. I want you to stay here forever, Shugo-sama. Hatsune, stop this selfishness. Madame Ojaku censures Hatsune sharply. You heard, right? We have no choice. You're making things awkward for him, you know? Nah, I'm not really, without waiting for me to stammer out a vague reply. Hatsune runs down the stairs, her face downcast. Ugh. Don't worry, sir. I'll talk some sense into her, so... The madam stops me as I'm about to go chasing after Hatsune. But... Go and get yourself some proper rest. You're probably exhausted from everything that's happened these last few days. I understand perfectly how she feels. To be honest, I have no idea what I would have said had I chased after Hatsune. However, I can't go back on my decision to leave the Yukishiro. Yeah, you're right. I'm riddled with a sudden sense of helplessness. I'll leave her to the madam. I bow my head to her. Thank you for doing this. Nah, it's just part of the job. She flashes me a wry smile. See you later, sir. I'll have her drop by again to say goodbye. Madame Ojaku vanishes down the stairs, chasing after Hatsune. Well, shit. The newspapers that Hatsune brought up to me lie scattered in a corner of the hallway. She'd probably gripped them tightly while eavesdropping. They're covered with wrinkles and creases. I pick them up and return to my room. I spread out the paper from 2 days ago on top of my table, searching for any articles regarding Takako-chan's murder. Here we go. I quickly spot what I'm looking for. Ooh. Man, how do they print this shit? There's gotta be some kind of censorship going on there. I mean, holy fuck. The evening paper from February 17th. Around 6 a.m. that morning, the corpse of a student named Ayasaki Takako was discovered by the gates of Kaiō Academy, located in the Taito ward. The cause of death was massive blood loss. There were stab wounds in her abdomen, caused by some sharp-bladed instrument. The corpse was discovered displayed in a bizarre state. The investigation has still not released an official statement at this time. My chest aches when I see the photo. God, that's brutal. That's brutal. Takako-chan's corpse, impaled on the gateposts of Kaiō Academy. A gruesome sight indeed. A wave of remorse roils up from the pit of my stomach. It practically makes me nauseous. Takako-chan. If I had only accepted her at that time, I might have been able to save her. I'm racked with the same pointless feelings of regret I felt when Rin died. Those memories gradually make my heart feel more leaden. Well, I'm not sure about being able to save her. In the morning edition from February 18th, The police have apprehended a critical suspect in the murder of a female student, a man she had a relationship with. The police are considering the possibility that the murder was motivated by complications in their love affair. The victim was a direct descendant of the Ayasaki group, which is well connected in the business world of Tokyo. The police are also pursuing the possibility that it may have been related to her background. The case in Izumo suddenly pops back into my head when I first met Takako-chan. The vast fortune of the Ayasaki family certainly is attractive enough to merit someone committing murder over it. However, the state of the corpse itself, things just don't add up here. The way they displayed her corpse doesn't jive with the motive, especially if they were after the family fortune. Yeah, if this were Carno Shoujo, then we'd be doing some kind of we'd be doing that whole reasoning minigame where we try to figure out, like, why she was murdered the way she was, or who might have done it. I keep staring at the articles and pondering things until I pass out from exhaustion. Well, February 20th. Time to get the fuck out of the whorehouse. Dawn breaks after my final night at Ryukishiro. Good morning, Shugo-sama. Yes. It's that gentle morning greeting I've gotten used to hearing over this past year. Hatsune hasn't erred from her usual schedule and has come to wake me up today as usual. Hey there. Morning. Breakfast has been prepared, so just let me know when you're ready to eat. The way she's acting right now shows not a single trace of how distraught she was last night. It's the normal, quiet, gentle Hatsune. I feel bad seeing her like this. I'm sorry about not being able to explain things properly to you last night, Hatsune. No, not at all. I went and ran my mouth off without thinking about what you were going through. Do you despise me now? I can feel my chest throb when I hear how mature Hatsune sounds now. What are you talking about? Why would I... over something like that? But... Hatsune looks like she's trying to work up the nerve to continue. Shugo-sama, you'll still come by to see me, right? Of course. It's a promise. I'll stop by again after I've finished up this case. Okay. She smiles happily. Oh, there she is. Hey, Toji. Thanks for showing up so early. I don't really care. She looks more sullen than usual, probably because she's been called out here at this godforsaken hour. Are those all your belongings? She says upon glancing at the bundle I'm carrying. Well, I never had much in there to begin with. I'll have them dispose of everything I don't want. We won't throw it away. I turn around to find Hatsune and the madam standing there. We'll leave your room just as it is, Shugo-sama. You come back anytime, you hear? Ah, come on. Don't look so worried. Madame Ojaku pats Hatsune on the head, a wry grin on her face. Have you come to say goodbye? Nah, are you kidding me? I'm just taking a stroll outside. She turns to face Toji. Sorry about making you do this on such short notice. No worries. Wasn't it difficult finding a nice place at this time of year? You can find one right away if it's not so nice. Toji retorts, stone-faced. Whoa there, you did find me somewhere habitable, right? It has a roof, and the walls aren't in any danger of falling down. That's more than sufficient for you, Shugo. Not like I'm in any situation to complain, but I sigh quietly to myself. Ugh. Well, you can live there. I mean, that should be good enough. Should we get going now, Toji? I guess that means yes. She gives me a silent nod. The madam chooses that moment to give my sleeve a tug. Before you go, there's something I need to talk to you about. You could have chosen a better time to do that. She pulls me over to the side of the road. What is it, madam? Actually, it's about that Kazuna girl. Now that you mention it, I haven't told Kazuna that I'm moving. If she comes here, could you please tell her my new address? Sure, I don't mind, but... She lowers her voice. Do you intend to start a relationship with her from here on out? Huh? I think you already know this deep down inside, but she's a very respectable girl. Nothing good will come of her associating with shady characters like ourselves. But, what? I feel like somebody's just dumped a bucket of cold water over my head. Kazuna's going to become a fine young lady someday. She lives in a completely different world from a guy like me, who's turned his back on society and lives each day without knowing where his next meal will come from. I guess I've tried to forget that fact. I've completely lost sight of who I am during the time I've spent with Kazuna. We live in a dangerous world. I'm just warning you out of kindness. But Kazuna's just my client. No, there's no need to make excuses in front of me. It's plain to see what's going on between you two when you're together. But... I'm just telling you that you need to think long and hard about her. What you end up doing is your choice alone. Well, From my point of view, I think this is a good chance for you to become a respectable person yourself. She smiles and claps me on the back. That damn woman's intuition. Small flakes of snow drift down into the narrow alley. We make our way through the muddy slush, passing between dilapidated housing projects. Oh, so this is gonna be our new home, huh? The slums. So I heard you enjoyed a night in jail. Yeah, actually, it was a rather valuable experience if I do say so myself. Why don't you give it a try, Toji? I'm sure they'd welcome you with open arms, given what you do for a living. She shows no visible response to my terrible joke. I wonder if I pissed her off. Well, that's usually the case. Oh, come on, I was just joking. Shugo, are you tired? Huh? A lot of stuff has happened in a very short time. I know it was unavoidable, but... Nah, what are you talking about? This is nothing. I'm used to it. I flash her a winning smile. We wind our way around several corners of this labyrinth, finally arriving at a dead end. Here it is. It's a squat, two-storied wooden building with a rusted iron roof. It looks like crap on the outside, but the interior is clean. In we go. Toji quickly vanishes inside. I ascend the dimly lit staircase. The wooden floor creaks each time I take a step. Damn, it's quiet in here. Does anybody else live here? Yeah, they're probably asleep. The residents of this area are all pretty much nocturnal. Whoa, what a dangerous neighborhood. Great, I'm shacked up with a bunch of gamblers and drug dealers now. What are you talking about? They're people just like you and me. Ah, here we are. Toji stops in front of the door at the end of the hallway and tosses a key to me. Thanks. I catch it and open the door. Oh hey, look. It looks exactly the fucking same as our old place. Whoa. You'd never expect to see such a clean room in a building that looks like it's falling apart on the inside. It's surprisingly tidy. It's almost like they completely just reused the same background and put it here. I picked something that looked like your old room. I thought you'd feel more at home that way. Well, you're right about that. I pull my clothing and daily necessities out of my luggage. I already secured all the furniture and things you'll need for the time being. Feel free to use all of it. I take a look around the room. I'm pretty grateful. There's a dresser, bookshelf, and futon already arranged in the room. There are things that would cost me quite a bundle if I were to purchase them myself. That was most kind of you. Damn, you're good. Well, of course. This much was nothing. Man, you'd make a great wife, Toji. What? What the hell are you talking about? Well, here's something you don't see every day. Toji in a panic. You pay attention to all the little details, and you're good at cooking, right? You're pretty domestically oriented. Hell, you're not bad looking either. If only you could do something about that personality of yours. Are you making fun of me? How rude. I'm not making fun of you. Well, I suppose it's more good-natured teasing. Shugo. Toji glares at me silently. Oh, are you mad? I don't like it when people joke around like that. Yeah, it makes me all embarrassed and makes me blush. She averts her eyes. But it's fun because you get so embarrassed. And you're not usually like that. We spend the rest of the afternoon shopping around for food and other little sundries necessary for daily life. Shugo, how about some miso? Did you buy miso? Not yet. I see. As a matter of fact, there's a shop up ahead I'm a regular at. The people there use great fungus to make top quality miso. You should stop by and get some. They'll give you a discount if I put in a word or two. Toji keeps on insisting stubbornly. For some reason that I cannot comprehend, she's obsessed with miso. I don't need anything that expensive. After all, I can't even cook for myself. What did you say? You're gonna starve then. Nah, I'll just forget the hunger pangs by drinking myself to sleep. Besides, there are a bunch of restaurants around here. Are you an idiot? She says, in all seriousness. You'll get sick in no time if you live like that. Oh, can it? You're exaggerating. No, you're buying some miso. Come along, Shugo. I told you, I don't know how to prepare it. I'll come over every day and prepare your meals. Huh? She says that so softly I can barely even hear it. What are you going to do every day? Come over and prepare your food, I said. Oh, so you are thinking like a housewife now. I knew you'd make a great wife someday. Wife? I suppress a smile as I see Toji acting all flustered. It's been a while since I felt so at peace. We return to my new home, my arms full of things we've just purchased. The wounds on my left arm haven't completely healed yet, so carrying it all was more tiring than I expected. Shugo, let me take care of that. You're making me nervous. It looks like you're about to drop something at any moment. Ah, come on, Toji, don't say that. My eyes unconsciously flick over to her single arm. Toji's just as disabled as I am. No worries, I'm twice as strong as you are. Now I really can't be handing stuff over to you after you've said that. Oh, so you're one of those guys who obsesses over male honor. Pathetic. Ugh. Anyway, why on earth did you have to buy so much alcohol? Isn't it heavy? It's damn cold. I have no choice. I warm up by drinking. The Russians deem it a magnificent way to ward off the cold. Just turn on the damn heater. Did you forget that there's a kerosene stove in this room? I bought it just for you. Oh, right. You know, she heaves a deep sigh of exasperation. That aside, the real problem is this miso. There's so much here that I probably won't be able to finish it all within a year. Miso is great, damn you. Seriously? Toji suddenly looks away. Oh well, everybody has their own obsessions. I'd best refrain from prying any deeper into hers. And as we arrive in front of my room... Oh, there she is. Oh, Shugo-san, welcome home. Kazuna's there waiting for us, waving her hand around energetically. Shouldn't be hanging out here in the slums. Somebody might do some things to you, or multiple people. Who the fuck knows? I wouldn't feel safe with, like, Kazuna walking around in this area, though. At least not by herself. Well, especially not by herself. Kazuna, why are you here? Oh, long time no see, Toji-san. I heard from Ojaku-san that Tsurugo-san had moved. I see. Toji nods. That aside, Kazuna, my curiosity's piqued the moment I lay eyes on it. What the heck is all that luggage for? There's a gigantic bundle of stuff set down by Kazuna's feet. Ah, this is... What? Come on, spit it out already. Well, the truth is, I was kind of thinking about living together with you. Huh? Well, this makes things rather complicated. The room's charged with an odd tension. Kazuna hangs her head, a serious expression on her face. Toji, on the other hand, sits there sipping her tea nonchalantly. And Kazuna is the first one to break the ice. I knew it. I'm a nuisance, right? That's not it, but... Okay, so if I remember correctly, this is the point in the game where you can either get the normal ending or the true ending, but if you haven't played through the game already, then you're going to basically automatically get the normal ending here. So, I don't know. I've played through this game before, but the game acts like I haven't already played through the game, so I don't know. I don't know if maybe, like, I just don't remember that I reinstalled this game or something, and maybe it got rid of my save data. I'm not really sure. But if that's the case, then we might automatically get the normal ending, which the normal ending is really weird. Basically, the pivotal choice here is that Kazuna is either going to live with you or she isn't. And if she isn't going to live with you, then you're going to live with Toji, and Kazuna is going to basically go overseas. I'm not going to spoil too much about it, but yeah, basically, the pivotal choice here is whether or not Kazuna is going to live with you. And in the true ending, if you get the true ending, or if you're basically on that path, then you get the choice whether or not she's going to live with you. If you haven't already played through the game, then it's, like I said, it's going to automatically just choose it. It's going to automatically just lead into the normal ending, which is kind of fucking bullshit in my opinion. Well, I mean, there are a lot of games that work like that. Yes? Man, she looks so serious. Her eyes are filled with anxiety. She's looking for a clear-cut answer from me. I'd better think about this carefully. Is it really alright for me to take in Kazuna, considering how things are going for me at the moment? Nah. Oh, fuck. Okay, well... You automatically get it then. Shit. After a few moments of indecision, I deliver my reply. We probably shouldn't do this. There are too many loose ends that I have left unresolved, mainly revolving around all the things I'm wrapped up in. Yaginuma had smiled as he informed me that all their suspicions about me hadn't been cleared up yet. From the way he acted during my interrogation, I can imagine that those aren't just the words uttered by a sore loser. The cops have me targeted as their prime suspect. If Kazuna starts living together with me, she might get sucked into this whole mess as well. If anything, I want to prevent that from happening. And above all else, there were those two girls I wasn't able to save. I have to solve these murders for Rin and Takugo-chan. At the very least, I have to get that done. But why? Why not, Shugo-san? Please tell me why. Listen up, Kazuna. This is for your own good. No, I don't get it. It makes no sense at all. Yeah, I have to agree. This is really weird. I made up my mind when I was waiting for you to be released from jail, Shugo-san. I vowed that I'd protect you and never leave your side. Shugo's reasoning here just is fucking ridiculous. Like, I feel like Kazuna's going to be in danger regardless. I know it seems pretty selfish to me. Plus, I didn't even ask how you felt about the whole thing. I know I say I want to protect you, but I'll probably just be a burden. But even so, isn't it right for us to be together if we love each other? Isn't that normal? I'm at a loss for words. She says it's normal, but it'd only be normal if I weren't living in a world of filth and corruption. The answer is no. From now on, our relationship will continue on as detective and client. That's all. That's all? Then why did you make love to me that night, huh? Didn't you do that because you loved me, Shugo-san? Now that I think about it, it was foolish of me. I shouldn't have done it. What the fuck? This is so retarded. Like, this makes no sense to me. Huh? I regret it now. At the very least, I shouldn't have let myself get carried away by my emotions. Damn. Yeah, I kind of deserve that. A sharp pain lances through my cheek. Kazuna grabs her quivering hand in shock, as though she can't believe what she's just done. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. You'll just make me more miserable. What the fuck was all that? God damn it. I lie down on the tatami and sigh. Toji ended up taking Kazuna back to her home in Kanda. I'll be back. I don't mind being client and detective until we find my sister. She flashed me a sad smile. God damn it all. Well, hey, you did this to yourself, you retard. I hate Shugo. I really fucking hate Shugo in this ending. He's fucking retarded. Like, he's so stupid. Why would you do this? There's no, like, his reasoning, like, it's just like, oh, I don't want her to be involved. I don't want her to get hurt. But she's been involved with you since the beginning, and now all of a sudden you're like, I don't think so. Fuck. Come on, man. Hurting her was not part of the plan. Well, too bad, too late. All I wanted to do was distance Kazuna from all the dangers surrounding me. Man, things always turn out like this. I keep saying the wrong things. I hurt people, misunderstandings happen, and I end up all by myself in the end. Again, you have nobody to blame but yourself. It's happened to me so many times before. And this time it's self-inflicted. My cheek still stings where Kazuna struck me. I just don't know how somebody can be so stupid to throw somebody like Kazuna away. Like, she's just such wife material, and you're just going to be like, no, I don't think so. I'd fallen asleep at some point without realizing it. Ugh. I wonder how much time's passed, as it's already dark inside my room. Somebody's covered me with a futon. I can feel a soft, warm pillow underneath my face. Is that you, Toji? It's pretty considerate of her to cover me up and all. Huh? Oh, you're awake, Shugo? I feel her gently stroking my hair. Huh? I look up and say, Toji? Yeah. You don't need to move. Just relax. She gently pushes me back down as I try to get up. Yeah. Just like that. Toji tenderly runs her hand over my hair. How's Kazuna doing? She's a bit depressed, but I'm sure she'll be back to her normal, cheerful self in no time. That's just the type of person she is. God, this ending just depresses the fuck out of me. Jesus Christ. Toji says, hesitantly. You sure you want to leave things like this? What do you mean? You know what I mean, with Kazuna. Yeah, things are fine like this, at least until the case is closed. Silence. As I lie there in Toji's lap, I can feel her warmth being transmitted through my cheek. It feels strangely calming. Did you make love to her? Yeah. I see. She falls silent once again. Her hand continues to gently stroke my head. I have no idea how long I've lain here in Toji's lap. She suddenly says, Shugo, if you need some consoling, you can have sex with me. What? Well, I thought it might cheer you up a bit. Okay. I think it's time for us to skip here. And then we have this choice. Clearly we I think, well, I'm the guy that says we have to do this, but really I don't know what would happen if we didn't, so yeah, I guess we're just gonna go through with this. Why not, fam? We've already fucked our life up so badly. Well, so there's that. A single shadowy figure makes its way across the tatami mats inside the dim candlelit chamber. Normally, this room is closed off by bamboo screens. It's a space other people cannot see into. It's the Holy Prophet's private chamber. Only their leader may enter this place. However, a single woman furtively sneaks inside. She's confirmed that the leader isn't around, but she must not let her guard down. There are other members of the church roaming about. The best plan of action is to just find what she's looking for and scram. She glances over at a shelf in the corner of the room. There are documents piled up neatly on top. The woman picks some up and takes a look. There's a member list, a ledger of alms donated to the church, and title deeds to donated tracts of land. They're all important materials to the church, but they aren't what she's looking for. Where the hell could it be? In her haste, she starts grumbling without realizing it. She's endured that man's inhuman acts for long enough, no more. And the most suspicious of all is what the leader's been doing. She really is. She shudders in horror. If she's on the right track, then it means that man is betraying her. And if that's the case, if she doesn't act, then her wishes will remain forever unfulfilled. At that moment, she hears a voice from behind. What are you doing in the leader's room, Huh? Her heart skips a beat. Ooh, as she whips around in panic, something is jabbed into her shoulder. Her face is contorted by intense pain. Sticky fluid oozes out from between her fingers as she presses her hand to her right shoulder. Unable to endure the pain, she crumples to her knees, then topples backward onto her posterior. How many times have I told you, it's not good to be snooping around? A cheerful voice rings throughout the cramped room. I guess I'm kind of tired of having a puppet. With a weapon clenched in his left fist, he advances slowly toward her. Just behave yourself and disappear like a good little girl.